Next up are the minion cards, which you'll know they're minions by the little word minion located right here on each card. Now I've got 2 minion cards out, so you can see some of the variety in the game. So let's talk about what the numbers and symbols on the minion cards actually mean. So first up, we're going to have the level and the discipline. Now what this means is that in order to play this minion, you would need to have a gladiator on the field that equals this level and has these disciplines. So for Ranchek, you would need to have a level 1 portal gladiator in order to play this card. Now you'll notice that the driller has an extra little symbol right here. What this means is you technically have to have 2 gladiators with the cybernetic discipline to play the driller, and at least one of them would have to be level 1. Next up, you will notice the picture. Again, this is just art. It has no strategic significance. And then next up, you're going to notice this little symbol right here is a minus symbol. Now this is the flow indicator. And we're going to have a separate video all about the flow towards the end of the series. What you need to know in this circumstance is that if you play a minion with a minus symbol, you will effectively lose the flow, and after you play the card, the turn then transfers over to your opponent. When the minion cards are played, they're automatically summoned into the support field. Now there's a support field and an action field, and again, what I want you to remember for the purpose of this video is just that when a minion is summoned, it comes into the support field first, and from there has to do other things. Now the game is played in 4 waves, and when you play a minion, you're going to have to use its play cost in credit points in order to play the card. If the minion is played in an earlier wave and has to go into the next wave, then the maintain cost would come into effect. So for example, if I was in wave 1 and I played Ranchek, it would cost me 3 credit points. And then when I go into wave 2, if I want to keep Ranchek on the field, I would have to pay 1 credit point to maintain him. Now you'll notice the driller costs 3 to play, but has a little skull near the maintain. That means the driller cannot be maintained into the next wave and is discarded like a quick hit card. Next up, you have the type of minion. So this is a Warpolite, this is a field shifter. The reason why you have to pay attention to these types is because there are other cards in the deck that will basically make more damage to a Warpolite or less damage to a field shifter or can't be played on a Warpolite, etc. So you have to keep an eye on this text in the type field to make sure that it fits in with the cards that you are playing or that your opponent's playing. All right, so minions act very much like gladiators in the fact that they can attack and they can retreat and they set. And again, we'll talk more about gladiator combat later. But because they act like gladiators, they have some of the same symbols. So you'll notice that I have a health symbol here, which indicates the number of wounds they can take before they are killed in battle. So Ranchek can take 2 wounds before he is killed in battle, and the driller can take 1. Below that, you will see the attack damage of the minion. So this minion will do 1 damage when it attacks. Now notice the driller doesn't do any damage here. It's got an ADMG of 0. So what that means is you have to look into the text field here and see what the ability of that particular minion is. So you'll notice Ranchek has no ability here. He's just got some flavor text. And he does the standard damage of 1. Whereas the driller does no damage, but he has this particular ability right here as a minus. I can scrap this card and retreat all characters in 1 action field. And that's his ability. Different minions have different abilities, as well as different health and attack damages. Well, that's really about it for the minion card. Let's move on to the next card.